Hey, Shalom, man. I want to start off as always by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kodash. That belongs to the apostles of GMS and honors to you, brothers, doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Got there in the end. Right, so this is on the news that South Korea builds emergency shipping container hospital as the third wave threatens to overwhelm medical capacity. Now, this makes me laugh just purely because I've looked on what you call it, South Korea's kind of followed their path. Just woman I was dealing with was from that part of the world, so observe certain things, and one of those observations is this, right? So you see this, like, so they've had what, 600, mind you, this is a population of like 50 million, right? And you look at that, you go into this tab here, and then this was for today, and this was, if it's going to show me, this is 8, no, yeah, so it's over there, you can see it. It's behind my screen recorder thing, right? So it's the 9th of, not so yesterday, 9th of December, 8, right? And this is what they're calling a third wave, okay? You look over there, there was 11th on the 12th of March, which is the highest that that you got there, right? So you look there. Yeah, what does it say? Population? I thought I just said population. Yeah, but that much, and then that much. It's like, yo, and when you read this, not read it, but you see this. Oh my God, a building shipping container hospitals. Oh my God, you thinking that there's a hell of a lot of things happening, right? But there's nothing. I find that funny as well. 666, right? That was cases yesterday, right? But when we see these numbers, what conclusion do we draw? We draw the conclusion that actually there is a bigger game at play right now, right? Them, would you call them Koreans out there? They be following the rules, whatever, what have you. You still getting cases. You're still getting this upward trend, right? Showing you that there are still other things going on, and one of those things is let me bring it in a new tab, right? Because if anything has proven this scripture more, it's this current situation. This is Job 9:24. Says the earth is given into hand of the wicked, right? He covereth the face of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he, right? So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? That's the whole entire earth, right? And looking at the response, the heavy-handed response to this particular situation, you can only draw the conclusion that all of these different nations are in on the gig, right? And once again, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? So and them Koreans, man, they use hospital, man. Everyone, I mean, there's a running joke in Korea about blood types, right? Because over there, everyone just gets their blood type taken. So that here you might get like your Western woman being like, oh, what star sign are you? Over there, they'll ask you what blood type are you, because they go to hospital for literally everything. So this idea that the hospitals are overwhelmed, you know. Right, it says the Korean health minister has declared a critical situation as the country scrambles to build additional capacity to cope with the nation's third wave. And like we saw here, I mean, well, they peaked at what, 400 cases, 300, and before that was what. It's difficult to use these graphs, without being able to zoom out. Or 851. Okay. I mean, once again, people in the world, they're deceived by this, right? They are deceived by this because they don't understand the nature of the man that we are dealing with here, right? This is Matthew 24:24, right? It says, for there shall arise false anointeds and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect, right? So Esau's going to be doing certain things which, if it was possible, the elect would be deceived, but it's not possible, right? Basically showing, because if they elect, if it was possible to deceive the elect, that basically means these people in the world have no chance. And I think back to what Apostle Tahar said a couple of months back now at the camp, when he was like speaking on the witchcraft of this whole particular situation, basically like how he'll be speaking to his his missus, and then he'll break it down that it's all BS, right, this current situation. And then what do you call it, she'll then come back after watching the news, and then is back at square one, right? So imagine someone who hasn't got that rock to be able to tell them regularly, no, this is BS, this is BS, this is BS. What, they just going to fall in line, right? And that is what the majority of people are doing. So when I see this shipping containers, hey, that looks like they're getting ready, prepared for something else, right? All of these nations are getting prepared for something else, and we can only imagine, only hope that the next year brings about certain things. So the scriptures say this, right? It says a verse back in Matthew 24. Right, from verse 23, it says, and he sat up on the Mount of Olives. And as he sat up on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Right, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And beginning of the year, we heard of wars and we heard of rumors of wars, right? It says, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And the reason why we weren't troubled, because we knew that there will be skirmishes, right? But we ultimately know that the prophecies fulfill a certain pattern, right? All must needs be fulfilled. First, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, needs to be implemented before we get to this third world war, right? But for the time being, all of these different nations are just posturing, okay? So it goes on to say, the point that I want is, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and they shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Right. So this is just the beginning of sorrows. Right. Things at the moment really aren't too bad. Now, how do we know things aren't too bad? Because when pursuing to Second Ezra's, right, the 16th chapter, right, there's gonna be a lot of death, right? So Second Ezra 16. In fact, let's kind of read into a little bit. Let's see. Okay, I'll read this. Is verse 18, 2nd Ezra 16, 18. Read a couple of verses. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Let me see if there's anything problem here. Second Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16. It's all good. You can read all of it, but just want to hit the point. Right, it's the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. Right, so the beginning of famine, loads of articles, right? Loads of articles coming out, from different points of view as well about the coming famine, right? That is pending. Okay, you're gonna have a lot of people going hungry. Well, they're already going hungry right now, and they're gonna be going hungrier in the new year. Okay, because over here in the UK got Brexit, right? Different people saying, look, man, hey, there's going to be issues stocking up them shelves. Those shelves might be empty, right? You've got, obviously this current situation, which if we cannot forget, coming into 2019, that rather 2018 had food issues. Was it 2018 or 2019? Sorry, 2019 had food issues, right? And then 2020 happened, and we've seen what's happened there. So we know that there is a great famine being brewed right now. Esau thinks that he's the one brewing it, but really it's the Most High, right? You read Sirach, the 39th chapter, speaks about how there'll be spirits created for vengeance. As one of those spirits is the spirit of famine, okay? It says, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, right? At the beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Right now, we can only hope that real plagues are to come, right? Because right now we've got certain people, not certain people. Right now we can't look at it and we're like, it's not really that bad. You really consider it like something like what, ridiculous over 95%, survival rate, right? So we hope that all of this preparation that he's been doing, with all of these extra hospitals and field hospitals, and as you just saw there in Korea, we can only hope that these are going to be things that are going to quote need using, i.e., that there is going to be something more satisfying to come, right? Because at the moment, you can have people that will, say, I'm just going to stay at home, whilst other people feel like, nah, this is BS and flout the rules. But we're hoping for a situation where everyone is scared, right? We're hoping for that kind of play where everyone is shit scared, right? Right now, people are, oh no, I don't want to leave my house. I might get it, whatever. But this ain't no Ebola like virus, man, right? This is some little, heavy flu, if you will, right? Because a severe flu kills a lot of people still, right? It says, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Right? It says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourge. Right? So, for instance, at the beginning of all of this, right, you had a load of people who, even now, right, you had a load of people who weren't really, or rather, let me rephrase that. The beginning of all this, you had people that were scared, and then after a couple of months, you stopped hearing from them. The typical, hey, shalom, hey, is this what you man were talking about? And then after a while, you don't hear from them. You know, um, see what goes in there. Yeah, but of course, if I'm not mistaken, it's more going into in the latter days, right after the time of destruction. Yeah, you see, yeah, that's more going into, after the time of destruction, right? So where are we? Yeah, verse 21, yeah. So behold, victual shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Victuals going into, things that you use, you buy on a daily basis, right? Your food or whatever. And right now, this bureau is kind of cheap, right? Prices are slowly going up, but things are gonna get real bad. Okay, so for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right. So for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. So a lot of people are just gonna die hungry. Right. And you read that in Lamentations about they that die of hunger be worse than they that get killed by the sword. Okay, for these pine away. It says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. Okay, so there's going to be a whole load of dead. So the dead shall be cast out as dung. Basically, it's not like now where if you get a dead body, you got all manner of police response and everything, blue tents, white tents, whatever, to cover up that dead body, put that dead body in in the private ambulances, right, and then be either burn it or put it in the ground. But in that day, there's just going to be too much, and no one left to, bury them, man, right? Which is why that's going to be the first job of these international bankers, when they come out, when they go into slavery, right? Let me see. It says Ezekiel 39, we'll start from verse 12. It says, in 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land, which we ain't gonna be burying them. It's gonna be getting people to do it. Right. It says, yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown to the day that shall be glorified, saith the Lord power, and they shall sever out men of continued employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it after the end of 7 months shall they search. Okay, so these elites, first job when they get put into captivity is they gonna be working. They be putting them dead bodies all cast out as dung into graves. So Ezekiel 21:9, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Right? When we see things like this, you know, little what do they call them? Shipping container quote hospitals. We're looking at it's like, yo, what's going on down there? Okay, and then you then couple that with that figure, 8 yesterday, and the max of the highest single day tally is 11. So you put those two together, you can only draw one conclusion, and that is there's something else going on, right? And that is that a sword is sharpened, right? There is, we don't not, obviously we don't know for sure, right? But we can definitely see that things are being prepared at the moment, okay, for this great death that is to come, right? It says it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter, right? And the reason I say that is all furbish means polishing. You're polishing your skills, right? You're getting them to a point where you want to getting them to a point where you want to perfect them, right? So now is Esau perfecting everything right now before he releases the real thing that really takes people out? We don't know. We don't know how the Messiah is going to put it in this man's spirit to run this, right? We just know that a sword is sharpened and also furbished, right? It says it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter, right? Sore slaughter, right? So a load of people go and drop dead. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. Right, it says, and he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. Right? So, I was always Lord's Wood, that was edifying. I was always, would you see what comes of this? Right? That's all we can do. We've been told to watch. We watch. We make our deductions by filtering through these things through the scriptures, right? And then we thought the videos, and then we wait and we see for the vision, is yet for an appointed time, right? We're just waiting and seeing how the Lord is going to have this thing play. We hope that January comes and brings with it a great, a great amount of death, right? A great amount of death, so that we can get the hell out of here, so that in the year 2021 we can be delivered from this hell, right? Because that's exactly what this place is. So as always, Lord's Wood, I was edifying. To the next time, say Shalom.